Let me see your war face! Ah! A few years back, my brother and I realized we were way behind on classic war movies. So we lined them up and watched a shitload of them. But somehow, Full Metal Jacket wasn't one of them. My friends, this is a tragedy and a crime, and I am profoundly sorry. I don't know why this happened. There is just no adequate excuse for it. What the hell was wrong with you past me? And it's just been sitting there on my, hey, I better watch that someday list right next to All About Eve and Sound of Music. Now I finally watched it. And it didn't really blow me away like I'd hoped, because I'd already seen the first part, all the basic training stuff. Most of the classic moments that everybody remembers come from the first part, although I'd forgotten about the scene where Private Joker gives his thoughts on the Virgin Mary. The second half, where we actually see the war, is very strong too. It's amazingly shot and amazingly acted. It's just not as strong as the first part. Probably has something to do with the two most memorable characters in the entire film getting shot a third of the way in. The story, such as it is, follows some soldiers in basic training and all the dehumanizing physical and emotional rigor that accompanies it. Then skips ahead to the Vietnam War on the eve of the Tet Offensive, where we get a taste of all the dehumanizing physical and emotional trauma that accompanies it. But this movie's not about the Tet Offensive, like, at all. That's just window dressing. The highlight of the basic training scenes is, of course, R. Lee Ermey, in the role he was born to play. You'd best unfuck yourself or I will unscrew your head and shit down your neck! Even if you've never seen this movie, chances are you've caught a glimpse of this performance somewhere. Private Pyle is like Gollum mixed with Cartman from South Park. He's kind of how I'd picture Cartman turning out if he joined the Marines. There's not a clear message in the whole Vietnam part of the story. There's not a lot of moralizing and trying to make sense of it all, like in Platoon, for example, beyond Nam is fucked up and something duality of man. I think because the movie doesn't spoon-feed its themes to the audience, it's actually thematically stronger, if that makes any sense. It shows you many very specific and deliberate moments, from training to the war itself, portrays them as honestly as humanly possible, and lets you draw your own conclusions. That's filmmaking at its finest, really. And would you expect anything less from the late Mr. Kubrick? I could really go on and on about this movie, but I think that should do it. Amazing movie, definitely see it. Next time, zombie Nazis. You gotta admit that Mickey Mouse Club theme makes a great marching tune.